What if right now the entire internet just stopped? Not slow, not spotty, gone, no warning, just silence where billions of connections used to be. Would your life fall apart in minutes? Or would you barely notice at first? Let's find out exactly what happens. It starts small. Your phone shows no signal. Your laptop spins on a loading page that never loads. You assume it's your router, so you restart it. Nothing changes? You check your neighbor's Wi-Fi. Also gone. You turn on the news, but even the news runs on the internet now, and the screen just freezes on a blank blue error. Somewhere, deep under the ocean, thick cables the width of a garden hose have gone dark. These cables carry almost all of the world's internet traffic between continents. Engineer Vint Cerf, one of the original architects of the internet, once compared the network to a nervous system for the planet. Right now, that nervous system has been switched off all at once. At first, this feels inconvenient, annoying, but annoying doesn't last long. Within the first hour, banks freeze. Not because your money disappears, but because the systems that move it all depend on that same invisible web of connections. Card machines stop working. ATMs display error messages. Cash becomes the only thing anyone can actually use. And suddenly, everyone wants it at once. Traffic lights in some cities begin to malfunction. Grocery store registers freeze mid-transaction. Hospitals switch to backup systems, but even backup systems sometimes rely on cloud software to pull up patient records. Doctors start working from memory and paper, the way medicine worked only a few decades ago. How long could you personally last without checking your phone even once? For some people, the answer is uncomfortable. Researcher Larry Rosen, who has spent years studying how technology affects the brain, found that many people experience real anxiety within minutes of losing access to their devices. By the end of day one, something bigger starts happening. Businesses that rely entirely on the internet simply stop functioning. Delivery apps go dark. Ride shares vanish. Remote workers sit at empty desks with nothing to open. Entire industries built in the last 20 years, from streaming to social media to online shopping, freeze in place like a photograph. But here's the strange part. Life on the ground doesn't stop. It just slows down and starts looking a little bit like the past. People start walking to the store instead of ordering delivery. Neighbors talk to each other because texting isn't an option. Radio stations, which still broadcast the old-fashioned way through the air instead of through cables, suddenly become the most valuable source of information in the world. Families dust off old maps because GPS no longer updates. Landline phones, if anyone still owns one, become priceless overnight. Tim Berners-Lee, the man credited with inventing the World Wide Web, has said publicly that the web was built to connect people, not control them. But somewhere along the way, connection became dependency. Now that dependency shows its full weight. What happens to a society that built almost every system around something invisible and then loses it all at once? By day 3, the cracks turn into real problems. Grocery supply chains, which use networked systems to track inventory and shipments, start running out of certain items in some areas because trucks don't know where to go and warehouses don't know what to send. Factories that rely on networked machines slow production or stop entirely. Airports ground flights because scheduling, weather data, and air traffic coordination all depend on the same broken systems. Passports and border systems tied to online databases cause long lines and confusion at every checkpoint. Governments start activating emergency broadcast systems, the same ones built decades ago for hurricanes and blackouts, because right now, the internet itself has become the disaster. Yet even here, something unexpected starts to emerge. Communities that lean on each other rather than apps start functioning almost normally. Small towns with strong in-person relationships adapt faster than massive cities built around digital convenience. Local businesses that never fully moved online, the corner bakery, the neighborhood mechanic, the family-owned pharmacy, suddenly become essential again. People start trading skills directly. A plumber fixes a leak in exchange for fresh vegetables. A teacher tutors a neighbor's child in exchange for a car repair. The economy doesn't disappear. It just becomes local again, the way it worked for most of human history before anyone had ever heard the word broadband. Researchers who study internet shutdowns have found that even short shutdowns cause measurable economic damage, sometimes costing countries millions of dollars for every single day offline. Multiply that across the entire connected world, and the number becomes almost impossible to calculate. So what happens after day 7, once the shock wears off completely? Engineers around the world start working around the clock to rebuild networks piece by piece. It isn't instant. Some regions come back online within days. Others, especially places far from major data centers, take weeks. During this time, an entirely new skill set becomes valuable again: memory. People start memorizing phone numbers instead of storing them. Bookstores see a surge in customers looking for physical maps. Children raised entirely in a connected world experience something almost unimaginable to them, a kind of silence they've never lived through before. Parents start explaining what the world used to look like before instant answers to every question. Something interesting happens. Conversations get longer, walks get slower. Boredom, once treated like an enemy to be avoided at all costs, starts feeling almost peaceful. By day 30, most major systems are back online. Banks resume normal operations. Traffic lights sync again. Deliveries return. Social media refills with weeks of catching up. But something has quietly shifted in how people think about the invisible web they depend on every single day. Cities begin building redundancy into their systems. Some households keep a small stash of cash going forward, just in case. Radios find their way back onto shelves. Paper maps get printed again, tucked into glove compartments like insurance policies. The internet returns almost exactly the way it left, technically speaking, but people don't quite look at it the same way anymore. Maybe that's the real lesson hidden inside this scenario. Not that the internet is fragile, though it clearly can be. Not that modern life depends on invisible infrastructure most people never think about, though that's true too. The real lesson is quieter than that. For 30 days, without the constant hum of notifications, without endless scrolling, people rediscovered something they didn't realize they'd lost: patience, presence, each other. So here's the real question, the one worth sitting with long after this video ends. If the internet disappeared tomorrow, would you be mourning what you lost, or quietly relieved by what you found?